All right, this is my review of August 14th, 2025. Um, Pretty solid session, it looks like. I finished up 17 ticks. It was a bit of a grind to get there, though. We did have some fluctuating P&L at times, but it looks like I hit two really solid trades, being my first trade of the day and my last trade of the day. Total of 17 trades, um, 6 wins, 5 losses. My average win was 4.5 ticks to an average loss of 2 ticks. So, a pretty significant day as far as risk reward goes. It looks like I was absorbing a lot of those lessons from prior weeks and really trying to push the good setups further. I had a win rate of 54.5%. And yeah, let's dive into it. It looks like a really interesting session. So let's start from the top. This is trade number one. It was a 9 tick win to the short side. Let's watch the recording. So pretty quick trade there. I ate not a lot of drawdown, maybe one or two ticks of drawdown on that. Um, One thing I'm realizing as I'm watching this though is that the book is pretty balanced against me here. It looks like that last little pop that I took to the downside was it. That was the last of the book balancing, and now the book is balanced. So I do not think I could have held this any longer. In fact, getting short where I was a pretty quick move. I'm just looking for a quick flash to the downside to take my profit off real quick, and it looks like that's exactly what I did. So um, I've got this one tagged as an A plus trade. It was pretty aggressive, and it was a move to move trade, which means I'm, trying to trade one area into another area. Um, I was clear, I was calm, I was content, and I was patient on this trade. I think it was beautiful. It was a perfect setup. I had that nice spoof zone below me. Uh, Actually, just screenshot this trade real quick. Really been any better. I do wish, however, I got in a little higher, maybe a couple ticks, but I'm not going to beat myself up over that. And some nice fat reclaim below. We had just failed to breach liquidity. Yeah, I like that. So let's screenshot that bad boy. Actually, looks like I already. Yeah, I'll actually keep this one. Either way, good reps. Watching it again. Really, really like this trade. Trade number 2 is a 3-tick loss to the short side. Actually, looks like every single one of my trades today was to the short side. So let's watch. So some good spoofing below us. I think my entry was too impulsive. And if I fast forward the video, we'll actually see that the trade idea did work. I was just too early. So I will represent that in the tags. Pellets. Trend favor. Actually, no, I'm kind of trend against here. Entry early. Exit early. Conservative scalp. Was impulsive on this. I did have good clarity here because I did actually predict the move. I just executed poorly. Calm, content, and patient. Green star this one. It goes without saying trade number 1 was also a green star, but okay, let's move on. Trade number 3. 2-tick profit to the short side. So essentially the same setup as the last trade. Looks like we are in a micro downtrend. Got some spoofing below us. We wick up on pretty low volume, and I'm able to take the trade there for a few ticks. I just want to fast forward and see what would have happened had I held longer. Looks like the trade would have came right back against me, so those quick exits are super important. I will copy most of the tags from the previous trade. I think my entry was good. My exit was good. Conservative scalp. Clear, calm, content, and patient. This will be a green star. Next one is trade number 4 for a 1-tick profit to the short side. I don't really like this trade because I've got a really big reclaim behind me. Price is clearly uptrending. In fact, it looks like we absorbed a lot of that move. So I'm going to red star this one. I think I had Delta against me. I had Reclaim against me. And I was also against the trend. I did have spoofing in my favor, but not much. This was an aggressive scalp. It's a little impulsive. It's almost like I'm trying to force trades here. I was confused here, but I was calm, content, and patient. I don't think there's any emotions playing in here per se. I just think I didn't understand what I was getting into. Kind of forcing trades. So maybe I'll change patience to yellow patience instead of green. Next trade number 5 is a break even, again to the short side. Looks like I'm attempting the same area. Yeah, don't like this trade either. So I'm going to red star it and copy all the tags from the last one. Aggressive, confused, calm, content, and maybe patience. And I'm going to red star this one too. Trade number 6 is a 3-tick profit to the short side. Very quick move there. There's only 1 tick of spoofing below me. I did have a lot of Delta Reclaim below me, which could be factoring into this trade. So I don't think this was as much of a spoof trade as it was just like a larger time frame price action setup. So I'm going to say I had Reclaim favor, spoof favor, as well as Delta favor. I think there's a good possibility of a stop run here too, but I am still fighting the trend technically. Entry good, exit good, conservative scalping. I was pretty clear on this, and I was calm, content, and I think my patience is pretty good here. So I'm going to return to green patience. This will be a green star trade. Next one, trade number 7, 2-tick loss to the short side. Looks like a pullback on a pretty powerful down move. Which in hindsight, well, no, actually, just in common sense terms, I should be a lot more cautious getting in after a sharp move like that. I know I might want to chase this move and get into it. But just not after a powerful move like that, it's chances are we're going to reclaim at least partially to the upside. So best to look out. So for that reason, I'm going to yellow star this trade. I did have a little bit of spoof below me. It looks like we were stop running. And I do think I have trend favor now. Now we are starting a downtrend here pretty significantly. Didn't have a lot against me. Maybe reclaim against, because there was a lot of reclaim above me. Entry early. Exit good. I'm glad this was only a 2-tick loss. It could have been a lot worse. This is an aggressive scalp. I think I'm chasing. I'm going to use the chasing tag on this. I think I'm trying to catch a move that's already gone. I am pretty confused about what's happening. I'm going to put maybe calm, because I feel like after that sudden surge of volatility, I'm not the most calm that I should be. I'm pretty content with P&L, and I may be patient. So you can see there's a little bit of slip in my patience there, in my emotions. Trade number 8 is a 2-tick loss to the short side. It comes pretty shortly after that move just happened. It looks like I get 2 or 3 ticks of profit on it, but I fail to take it off. I think I was really hoping for another break of support and a continuation down, but that never ended up happening, or at least not in this trade. Let's fast forward. Yeah, if I fast forward, that didn't end up being a pretty good cut. It would have came back against me pretty hard. So for that reason, I'm just going to copy the tags from the last trade. This will also be a yellow star. Entry early, exit good. I'm glad I got out of that when I did. This is an aggressive scalp. I still feel like I'm chasing. I'm confused, maybe patient. At this point, I'm going to put maybe content and maybe calm. I think my emotions are pretty clearly slipping here. Trade number 9 is a 3-tick loss to the short side. These are 3 consecutive losses, which I do have a rule that I should stop trading after 3 consecutive losses. And I failed to do that today. So on one hand, you'll come to see the end of my session is really good. I managed to scrape it back and finish a really solid green session. But I do not like the fact that I broke my 3 consecutive loss rule. Let's watch the trade. I'm still attacking this area down here, and when I finally do try to get in it, it looks like it's already gone. So again, I'm just gonna paste the tags from the last trade. This will also be a yellow star. In fact, I'm gonna red star this one because I do not like the fact that I took 3 consecutive losses. But everything else essentially is the same as the last trade. Trade number 10. This is my. I need to mark down my attempts. So trade number 10 is my 4th attempt at this area, at this trade, and I finally nail it technically. Was this a partial fill? Yeah, it was a partial fill, which really sucks. So while the setup was good, I only got filled for 1 contract instead of 4. So as solid as this trade was, I didn't get anything on the trade, really. Also paste tags from the last one. Do I have spoofing? No, I don't. Not really. Do I have range favor? Do I have reclaim favor? Do I have delta favor? This is aggressive. I was clear here, but my emotions are still yellow. Maybe calm, maybe content, maybe patient. yellow star this one. Trade number 11 is an 8-tick win to the short side. So I really, really nailed this slip range here, it looks like. Shorted it right at the top. It is on volume, which I don't like, but it looks like the book is pretty fairly balanced. So let's see how quick it plays out. I think it took a while. Yeah, and it does come back on me a bit. Finally get it there. And then the range does break to the downside, which I expect it to happen. So I will copy and paste from the last trade. Aggressive scalp, clear, maybe calm, maybe content, maybe patient. I'm going to green star this just because it was objectively a really good trade. I just don't think I should have been trading so much in this area. It ended up being worth it because I fixed all the mistakes that I had made earlier, but I think my session probably would have been better off if I just didn't trade it at all. So that was it for this session. It was a pretty short session. I think from my first trade to my last was about an hour. A lot of fluctuation, more than I would have liked in my P&L, but that's just the reality of trading. Nothing's ever going to be straight up, at least P&L wise. I'm really, really proud of myself for pushing my winning trades. I think that's something I struggled with the entire week, and there's finally results of my hard work here. It looks like I am, you know, starting to at least understand that I need to push these trades and be just a little bit more picky about what I choose to trade, and having the confidence to push it instead of just taking it off for the first tick. You know, the first tick, the first two ticks. I did a really good job of pushing those two big trades further than I had all week. These were my two biggest trades of the week in one session, which I think is really impressive. On the downside, I don't like that I broke my 3-loss rule. My previous session, I also did the same thing, and it could have been really bad. Like, we're verging on tilt territory there. You know, like that's how accounts get blown. So that rule exists for a reason, and I need to make sure I follow it in the future, because it's so easy to just say, "Oh, I'll take one more loss. It's fine," and then you just blow your entire session. I've had it happen to myself way too many times. I've seen it happen to other traders way too many times. It's just not worth it. It's rarely ever worth it to take that additional trade. So I got to slap myself on the wrist a little bit for that. But as far as edge goes, as far as refining my edge and you know, pushing my technical abilities, I think today was an excellent session. So with that in mind, I will jump into the next one.